What's up? Still at the pool. I might as well call this a pool vlog, huh? Instead of, say pool vlog. How's that? That's a lot better. So, I was noticing something, man. You ever notice, man, when you remember that saying when they used to say misery like company? And I'm noticing things, man. I'm going to sleep pleasantly, but when I wake up, my wife is watching a whole lot of, what can I say, we can't afford our groceries type videos, right? All of that. And I can understand some of this stuff because, which is true, but misery loves company, right? So they bombard you with, a whole lot of lack and a whole lot of America is going down and all of this, man. You know what I come to find out, gentlemen? It's a big world out there. You don't have to stay in America if you don't want to. Hey, that's just what it is. If it gets that bad, you know what I'm saying? It's a big world out there, man. And they got some places, man, that you can fly that's out of the United States, but in the United States territory, that you can actually fly, like Guam. You can fly there without a passport, man, because that's United States territory. Now, it used to be like that. I'm not sure if it still is like that, because we was able to, at one time, we'd be able to fly to Puerto Rico without a passport, but I think it changed. I'm not sure. But I had a question, right? The only place, there's two places outside the United States that you can use. Now, this question came from Ace Adams, right? Ace Adams 21. And he was asking me about medical coverage. And I specifically told him, I said, you have to get medical coverage for that particular country, because your medical coverage in America, what y'all call it, Medi-Cal grade A2, that only covers you in the United States. But say if you're over in Southeast Asia, what would be the easiest choice? Well, I just learned this choice, and you can fly. Say if you're in Southeast Asia, right? If you're in Japan, or you're in China, you're in the Philippines, you're in Thailand, you're in Malaysia, Vietnam, and you want to use your American medical thing, well, you can. I just found this out, that you can fly to Guam. It's in the Pacific Islands, and you can fly there and use your United States Medi-Cal. You understand? Your Medicare, Medi-Cal. You can use that over in Guam if you're in Southeast Asia, so you don't have to take a flight all the way back to the United States to get a procedure done because you can't afford it, because you don't have the medical coverage here. So that's a new tidbit that I had to do.
Welcome to my vlog.
You trying to stay cool, man. So hey, what you guys up to, man? All right. Now, something yesterday, and you'll see that if you go to Glass of Beer 1, 2, 3, and my wife's cooking show, you'll see that she made some oxtails. Now, me, in my older age, because, I ate a lot of oxtails, at Mosel's Kitchen. Y'all know about Mosel's, right? Well, Mosel's is a soul food place that we used to go to back in San Francisco in the Bayview. And she used to make soul food, collard greens, candy yams, oxtails, Anyway, so, she made some oxtails yesterday. And along with that, the day before that, we had made some ribs, right? And I put some barbecue sauce. But unbeknownst to me, I can't eat a lot of greasy, oily based foods. Now, I should have remembered that, because the the time before we had made those, we had made oxtails. I had made them differently. We had fried them, and sear them, and then we put them in the oven. This time we put them in a slow cooker, and it created a lot of oil and a lot of grease.
So which one is the better?
And for me, bake. Yeah, bake. For me, bake, because I had heartburn so bad. Oh, it was ridiculous. Now, mind you, I'm not gonna just give it all to the oxtail. I had to give some to the barbecue ribs because I had that thick barbecue sauce on it, and that exasperated. And then on top of that, earlier that day, she don't drink. She do on occasions, but not often.
No,
like
we go to the nang.
Yeah. So, and then I was drinking a cocktail, but I didn't pay attention to the vodka that they put in it, right?
Cheaper vodka.
Yeah. So,
cheaper one.
and that could have made it heartburn. But man, I was drinking cup after cup of baking soda. It was still like it was just rumbling in there.
It's hot now.
Yeah, hot. But you live and you learn.
It's a lesson learned.
It's a lesson learned, you guys.
But you don't need to do that again.
Yeah. And you know what else I'm trying? You know what else? And I hate to be this harsh, but some of you guys, this is real talk, man. I spent a lot of time, and I never enjoyed myself. I mean, all the time I was growing up, it was like bits and pieces, but I was always on a hustle. I was always looking behind my back. You guys know how it is when you driving your car and you constantly looking in the rear view mirror. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, your battle train, something like that. So my wife was telling me this. She said, this is the reason why, you look forward to cocktail time, because this is the time that you don't have to think about trading. Because right now I do a lot of, trading a lot of different cryptocurrencies. I mean, because it's fun. It's fun to do. Pick up a little extra change here, make $5,000 here, $5,000 there. And and that's your loose money that you can just have fun with. Most of the time, I'm just reinvesting in stuff. But I'm coming to the realization, man, that I've been under tremendous stress for damn near all my life. You hear me?
Since birth.
Since birth, man, I've been under tremendous stress.
I think it's hard to.
And now I am doing what they call me time. Me time. I don't look exactly. I'm telling like my wife, I can't be caring that much about everybody else and their situations. I have to. So what happens is, we basically on Operation Save As. So I'm tuning everything out because man. I mean, I know I've been trained under stress. I've been stressed out my whole life, man. And y'all think about that, but you realize that you actually been stressed out.
It's amazing because they're alive, no? Because some people stress too much like that. Yeah. Like too stress, they kill themselves, Can't take it.
And something was pointed out to me by my brother, like way back about 15, before I came here, about 15 years ago. And he pointed something out to me. He said, look at all these pictures, all my pictures of me growing up and all this, and I never smiled in none of them pictures. He said, look at you never smiled in none of those pictures, man. I can't remember the last time I smiled, but I've been smiling all the time since. Well, I didn't smile, back then, but now. Yeah. So you guys, it is what it is. So now, by me reading Malachi, like I tell you guys to read it over and over again.
Yeah.
And this, look, Malachi teach you guys how not to give your pearls to swine. See, because you can screw up your blessings. Okay, let me just give you for instance. Say God blesses you with an abundance of everything, and you turn around and you want to play God, and you start giving away what God have given to you. Now he takes it away from you because you giving your pearls to swine. And if I wanted them to have the money, I would have gave it to them, not you. So that's something that Malachi helped us with. when you look at all the things Malachi has to say within the verses. And it gives you a sense of charity. Malachi, if you read it, it'll tell you that you have to give 10% of your, things such as that. Malachi tells you that, but he also gives you discernment, meaning this: you don't give your pearls to swine. You don't. You understand? So, and then there's other books you can read as far as, how to initiate and how to handle your blessings. You can read the Jewish Bible. They got a Hermetic Jewish Bible that you can read that'll tell you about how to handle your funds and, not to be this is surprising. I read this in one of those books. I constantly be absorbing different information about, different things, because this is the reason why I absorb all this information, you guys. I was always told, now listen, you guys are told this too, that you cannot get to heaven unless you go through Jesus Christ. I swear. And we was told that. Oh, blessed be Jesus Christ. Blessed be Jesus. And then when I came to Southeast Asia, I seen a whole lot of Chinese Buddhists that don't even know nothing about Jesus. You hear me? So you trying to tell me all these people going to hell because they don't know this? Then you have to, look here, and I hate to say this, but then you got to start digging. And then if you look, religion is one thing that they don't like you asking questions about. You ever notice this? So you say, well, I know for a fact the Romans kept meticulous records of everything. They did census. They used to take census. About how many people was born in their province and all of this. They kept meticulous records. You know what I'm saying? And for them not to have not one bit of evidence written down that Jesus existed, other than what they put in the religious, is astronomically kind of strange, because you got records of when they had executed Barabbas, Spartacus. I know what was his name. The guy who. He was black too. His name was Barabbas? No. It was Spartacus. I'll get it later. You guys can look it up. The guys that they crucified up and down for that revolt, for that slave revolt. So, but there's records of that. Then I start digging a little bit more. Now look, that's not like saying I don't believe in my Father God, and I have to call him my Father God because he's the only one that made my fingerprints. So I can't be, believing in a group, because I come to find out that the group mentality, always leads people wrong. When you're a part of a group, a clique, an army, a political group, a gang, man. Anyway, but then you get to noticing that nobody ever been born, nobody will be born, has my fingerprints. That's amazing, isn't it? So therefore, I have to pray to the one that made my fingerprints. So I pray to my Father God. Let the chips fall where they may. But anyway, so we started initiating, going through history, right? So we started looking at Egyptian history and trying to find the origin of Moses. What is this Moses? Now, what's strange about it, Moses wouldn't be one name. You would either have to be Tut Moses or what. You just wouldn't name one thing Moses. And another thing we couldn't ascertain is Egyptians kept meticulous records. I mean, meticulous records. Even with kings like Tutankhamun's father, what was his name? Akhenaten. And he started trying to worship the sun god, but they was all inbreeded during that time, and then his general had to take over, and his name was Seti, and Seti begot Ramses, which was the best pharaoh of all, but he wasn't pure blood pharaoh. He came from the general, because Akhenaten, they were so inbreeded to where he couldn't make. But long story short, there's no record
So even
So-
when we ask AI,
Even if when I asked AI tell you the truth. He said, no, it's no record. He said what he said was this. He said that the Jewish people would attach themselves to a major figure. You know what I'm saying? So you would automatically think just because, like they would attach themselves, they start attaching themselves to Nebuchadnezzar, right? Nebuchadnezzar was a true king. He was a real king. But the people like David, Daniel, and Mishago, we don't know nothing about them. But what happens is, and it's all through history, that they'll attach themselves to a major portion of somebody in history. So you'll say, well, if this history is correct, then there must be correct. No. Because there's no record.
So who did that?
Therefore,
Who did
I don't. You know who did that? Come on now. So therefore, if there's no record of Moses, that means all the other books that Moses had so-called made are invalid. So you wouldn't have no Adam and Eve, you wouldn't have no Genesis, you wouldn't have no Leviticus, if you can't prove the origin of Moses. If you can't prove Moses, then everything is academic. But you cannot tell somebody that has been studying theology this simple fact of a fact, because they'll start arguing. They'll tell you, oh, well, you don't have no faith, and you can't be looking at that. You should walk by faith and not by sight and all that. So they'll give you all these sayings to keep from being accurate in their assessments. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm still at this opinion. All right, I think mankind, human beings, are an invasive species on the human earth. We are an invasive species. We don't have any feathers. We don't have no fur. We don't have no fins. We are an invasive species. And like an invasive species, that's why we populate so much. And we put the natural order of things in a zoo. In a cage. The natural beings, the natural, life that's belong in this earth, we put in cages. We are not belong in this earth. We're not adapted to equip. We have no feathers, no furs, no fins.
We can't even survive in
you know what I'm saying? So we are an invasive species. And we're populating because we have no natural predators. So some smart theologians, some smart people started devising different things. Like that COVID shot you took.
Yeah.
You think you finna live to be 75 after you took that COVID shot? Oh no. There's people right now that I know that took that COVID shot that's sitting around there having strokes. You hear me? At the age of 50, they having strokes and getting all messed up because they took that COVID shot. Well, this is just a natural way of what I call population elimination.
Depopulation.
Because we have no natural predators and we're overpopulated. Now you're going to get AIs coming up with better medicine. So what happens is this, we squeezing out the poor. All right, we figure, you got another 30 years. If you keep stressing that you ain't got enough to eat, and then you're going to start eating substandard foods because you can't afford real foods. And even if you start eating those real foods, it's not going to have enough vitamins and minerals in it for you to sustain yourself. So they're giving you about a 30-year window to where you're going to start dropping off. Hey, but what if they was to just tell you the truth like that? Could you accept that? Could you actually be strong enough to survive if they were to tell you that the government is no longer going to take care of you, that you have to go fend and come up with your own devices to survive? Could you be able to handle that? Some people can't even handle the realization that, the Bible could be a hoax. It could be. But now listen to me. As it's written, but they're really basing a lot of the stuff off the Bible, the things that they got from Egypt. You know what I'm saying? So you have to go back. They didn't want to give the Egyptian no credit, So, you must have faith. Don't question nothing.
Yeah, that's
Yeah. But God gave me this brain to question. You telling me not to use it? Is that right? Yeah, I'm serious. It's an oxymoron, you guys.
Oxymoron is like
an honest criminal.
Honest criminal.
That's an oxymoron.
Yeah. So
So, hey, you guys, that's that daily vlog.
That's for the update for now.
Yeah,
so,
I didn't even know what I was saying. It just came off the thing. I should have a script. You know what I'm saying, you guys?
No,
I should have a script.
No, you don't need
But
script.
some of the things I say is delicate, and it be really bothering people. You know what I'm saying?
Sensitive, you know.
Yeah,
Very sensitive. Me also, I'm sensitive.
You know,
Sometimes my husband tells
if
me
you
that,
dug into a belief system, you dig what I'm saying? And you don't want to question it because you done dug in, and now you got other people that dug in with you.
You just believe what you see.
And that reminds me of somebody else. That reminds me of two other people. You know what I'm saying? That you believe without questioning shit, and you end up ghost. Like, remember the people in Jim Jones?
Oh.
People's Temple. Remember that? People's Temple? Yeah, you believe without questioning, huh? What about David Koresh? You believe without questioning, huh? See what I'm saying? God gave you a mind. He gave you a brain. Which one you gonna use? I would try to use both.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? To decipher.
That's the only in your part in the body's two names.
Exactly.
Mind and the brain.
Yeah, that's the only part of your body that's got two names.
Two names, yeah.
All right.
Mind and the brain.
Mind and the brain. That's it.
See the eyes only, right? Nose is nose. Mouth is mouth.
So look here, you won't be down for questioning. In fact, I think you'll even be blessed because you're trying to get to know your Father God more. Not through the looking glass of King James, you know what I'm saying? Because, and a lot of people don't know this, to tell you the truth, King James is black. Yeah, they don't want to tell you that.
You just changed the pictures into
white. And you'd have to realize this too, you guys. The whole English family are frauds. They're not really true, what they call that, kings and queens. Because they're, all right, it was a war of the roses, right? All right, now I keep saying King Charles is not a king because he's not a Plantagenet. All right, if he was a Plantagenet, he would be a king. He's not a Plantagenet, all right? There's a whole lot of screwy stories and stuff like that, you guys. But you guys, if you like history, dig deep into it. I'm serious. So, oh, yeah, I want to tell this other thing, you guys. Hey, I'm back on this daily vlog. I had questioned some things, right, in order for me to get it clarified. And I questioned why a couple of major inventors that invented, you know, the guy who invented the engine that could run off of water, and that physicist lady was the Chinese engine, they were killed. All right, but I had to question AI as to why, you know, because I'm very upset. Man, he invented the engine that can run off of water. Why are you killing him? And this girl she didn't, you know, conquer gravity. Why are you killing him? And AI gave it to me like this. She said, because their invention can harm more people than it's good. I said, what do you mean? He said, the whole world is based off of fossil fuels. And yeah, it's off of money. And say if you come out with an engine that can run off of water, well, a lot of people's gonna be starved. You're gonna kill a lot of people. So for the greater good, I said, well, why don't they just tell people? He said, you know, human beings are intelligent at times, but when they get together in a group, they so messy. That's how you get lynches and lynch mobs and armies and gangs and you know, people individually, yeah, they are intelligent. But when they get together in a group and they start forcing their religion on you and forcing on, this is why I'm still coming up with this one site. Look at, don't nobody else have your fingerprints. All right? Be that individual, be a good individual. So you don't have to, yeah, you don't have to be a follower. And you know, because it's strange to me. We always say common sense. But I'm coming to find out common sense is not common.
It's just only the sense.
No, it's not. It's not common. You know, you would think it would be, right? But it's not. You know? So, anyway, that's just another little blah, 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 blah. What else fun you guys can see it? How far you think they can see it? Yeah. All right. So, anyway. That's our pool vlog for the day.
Okay, give me that something pull me out. I can't reach.